Hi guys, this week we're going to talk about writing a web series. This came about from Lisa. Lisa left a comment last episode. So how do you come up with a web series? Well, Lisa's specific question was she's thinking of converting one of her old features into a web series. So let's look at the thing we always break up, the difference between a feature and a series. A series, each episode needs a start, a middle and an end. A series needs to be maybe a universe, whether it's going to, or unless it's a limited series, then it is like a big feature. So how would you take your normal feature and break it into a series? So let's look at the arc here of a normal feature. With a normal feature, you've got your start, which is maybe your first 10, 15 pages, maybe up to 20, to get the story going. That sets up the old world, what the person was like, and it also gives the incident to kick it off, to get it going. Then we've got like the first half of the second act. So once the story started and we're in there, the actions are happening and it's escalating and decreasing and we're learning new stuff. You must constantly be feeding things to your audience. There must be a constant exchange of information that'll keep the story going, because more information poses more questions need more resolution, needs things to happen, pushes your character forward. You get to the center and what normally happens, and it's sort of tradition, is that suddenly it changes. The goal can change of the main character, what they're actually doing. They started off wanting to, save their marriage. Now in the midpoint, they realise the marriage cannot be saved. Now they're going for revenge. In the second half, they're going to make life just as hard for their spouse as their spouse has made it for them, because they don't know why they're getting divorced. They've done nothing wrong, but yet they're being punished for this. So now we've got this other sort of story in the second half of the second act. Same thing. More of this, more of that, more of this. Learn something. Get ahead, fall back, exchange of information. Stuff you put in the first half of the second act is now getting paid off. All that. Third act is your resolution. So maybe there's a bit of a change again. He's not going to go for the revenge. He's just accepting it. Now he's going through making the best of it. He's realizing that he was part of the blame. All the third act resolution, which is different to the first half. So we get that story arc. We get the movement of the world. I always say it's not 100% necessary, but you can actually have a dead stationary character who doesn't change and the world changes around them. But more traditionally, people change due to the experiences that they go through, because we all do as humans. How would you convert that to a web series or a limited series? Quick jump in. Thank you for everyone who's been doing this. Like Lisa, she commented, and now I'm using her comments, and this is a conversation between me and Lisa that you guys get to listen into. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the thumbs up. It all helps a lot. Thank you for sharing it, posting it on your socials or whatever you feel like doing. It is a huge, huge help. Thank you. Keep going. Okay, we're going to think how many major changes or events happen within the story. How many ta-da moments are there? That will sort of dictate where your episodes are. So if the setup's really slow at the start, or we're learning a lot about the town, we need to put something in there that is a learning moment more than just learning about the town. We need to put a conversation. Let's just break up that quick divorce film I spoke about. So we've got, let's say, 120 minutes. So we'll make 10, 12-minute episodes. In the first 10 minutes or 12 minutes, we have to see his normal life. But then we need to see something in there at the end, which is going to leave a question to go into the next one. So he's got his normal life. He's motoring along, and perhaps a character that we might have learnt later on that was sort of familiar, or sort of knew that the wife wasn't happy and there was a divorce we bring her into that first episode. So he's doing the normal things and he's about to make an investment in something. He's going to do something big. He's going to sort of a long-term thing. And this person hears about it and they come across and go, have you discussed that with your wife? Well, no, it's a surprise. But you're buying a holiday home. I really think you need to talk to her about that. Why? What do you know? Why wouldn't... She's always said she wanted to go on holidays. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that you may want to, before you make any long-term stuff, you must talk to your wife. That's all I'm saying. I'm not in this. End of episode. Now suddenly, whoa, why? And you put doubt into his mind as well. What the hell's happening here? That's your first series. That's your first episode. Second episode could be him going home and asking, and she's evasive, no, I don't want to talk about it. What about this? And then he starts questioning her, why have you been talking to this other person? So we put that in earlier. So you've got your second episode. And then she's gone, I think we need to talk to someone about this. We need to go to counselling. So now he knows everything's wrong. Then we get into the fun and games part, those middle 8 episodes, where he's doing horrible things to her, she's doing horrible things to him. Or no, sorry, he's trying to get back. He's being overly romantic, and we see him failing, and we're feeling bad for him. And maybe we begin to paint her as a bit of a horrible person. It was a bad marriage. We learn a bit about their past. Each episode has to have a cliffhanger. So you have to start rearranging all your feature into a bit of a story, cliffhanger that leads into the next one. And your cliffhanger is a question. So you leave the people with, oh, if he does that, this will happen. If he does this, that'll, or you know he's about to do something. So this is the three orientations again. Works really good in a series. So what we're talking about when we talk about orientations, I'm all over the place, sorry guys. An orientation is where you are compared to the audience, where your character is compared to the audience. If your character is ahead of the audience sits there a little bit fascinated. What are they doing? Oh, they've got some plans. I don't know what it is. I need to keep engaged so I learn what it's all about. Oh, and then if they're in the same place, they're orientated with the character. They're not ahead of the character. They're with the character isn't ahead of them. They're with the character. So as the character's learning things, they're learning things at the same time. They're feeling the emotions at the same time the character feels them. That can be more devastating. And then the sense of horror, the dread, oh no, I know it's about to happen. That is when your audience is ahead of your character. That can be useful in a horror film. Like, oh no, don't go behind the door. Or, in this sense, she said something to him and he thinks it's a moment for reconciliation. Like, I want to get together with you and we need to talk about something. I think it's going to make life easier for both of us. And he misunderstands that is she wants to give it another try. But what she means is that she signed the divorce papers and she wants to give them to him. So you know what's coming and you see him all excited. He might get a haircut. He's been growing a beard through this. And he's decided to get clean shave and he's putting a huge effort in because he thinks it's finally going to be, it's over. He can actually get back with his family and she walks in and bang, there's your divorce papers. It is all over. I want you out. So you can put the audience ahead of the character and it gives you that sense of, so where you orientate them. At the end of every episode, you need to leave them questioning. You need to put them behind the story. So they're like, oh, I've got this urge to catch up. I need to know this. Callbacks, you always see this, like previously on Buffy or whatever. You can do those in these web episodes, which hints people to go back and watch them. And if you're putting these web episodes up on YouTube, it's going to be really hard. You'll probably have to film them all and edit them so you can put the links back to previous episodes and the episodes that launch, or if you haven't seen episode 1, go back. And so it's a little bit of an effort putting this stuff together, but it could be well worth it. I've never done one, but I think it could be well worth it. I've done these videos forever and it could be well worth it. So that arc now gets scattered across. Each one's a mini story with a start, a middle and an end. And the end has to be a question. You can have that question answered in the next one if it's a big enough question, and have 2 questions at the end. So you have to have, this is the Joss Whedon model, the long story, which is the series. You need to have a question or a small story that goes across 3 episodes. And before you end it there, you introduce the other one. So they overlap like that all the way along. So if you've got 12 episodes, you need 4 smaller stories that overlap. And then you need the episodic question. What question are we answering in each episode? You answer the question, which leads on the next question, and leads on the next question, which answers this, but introduces something new here, which is going to be the start of the next overlap. And the last episode brings everything together. So you've got the one long question, the smaller questions every 3 or 4 episodes, and one every single episode. That's it. I hope that's enough. I hope that helped, Lisa. I'd love to see your feature, and I'd like to see how you're breaking it up, because that would be super interesting. Also, the books, I forgot to mention, Tools Not Rules. That thing about where you're orientating yourself between the audience, that's in Tools Not Rules. The difference between a series and a feature, that's in Tools Not Rules. So all that sort of stuff's in there, and it's a cheap book. It's $6 or $7, I think. It's $5.99 US. So whatever country you're in, whatever $6 US is. Logline, as it says in the book, as it says on the cover, it takes you through how to write log lines, all the different styles and types. There's 20% off you guys at writerduet. I make nothing out of that. That's a gift from writerduet to you via me. And until next time, guys, keep writing. Bye.